Traveling this bending road is always an adventure, and I'm glad we can do it together. It's easier together because no matter where we go in life, two things are for certain. One, you will eventually come to a bend in your road, and two, God will always see you through. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and click the subscribe button so that you know when I upload my next video. In this way, we travel together and we encourage each other along the way. Welcome back to the Bending Road. Kind of a surprise, random ramblings. I just couldn't stay away. I couldn't not record this. So Friday, I released my random ramblings, which I had recorded last Wednesday. And today is Sunday, and I'm going to release this right now. But on Wednesday, I was in a not so good spot. I was pretty cranky, a lot of things happening, and I really, I found myself just grumbling about all the things that were going wrong. And as I've shared with you before, we left the United Methodist Church and became Global Methodist, but there's no church available right now. Things are being worked on, and there's hope there, but for right now, life feels like this painting up here. There's that lighthouse back there, but I'm in these rough seas. I'm like right over here, right? And I'm kind of tired of not knowing what's happening and where we're going and what's going on and so forth. So I was grumbling in that video, and after I got done with that video, I started thinking about kind of, that I need to go to God in prayer, and I spent some time in prayer. I heard from a lot of you, which I really, really appreciate. That video resonated with you, and you know what it's like to live where it's just like bend after bend after bend, and things are going wrong and wrong and wrong, and you just can't ever seem to get on top of it. In my prayer time after that episode, I kind of heard, when I hear from God, I kind of hear in my spirit. I don't generally hear an audible voice, but I mean, it's possible, but I generally hear in my spirit. And I heard the response, what if I don't? I thought, what? What if you don't? What if I don't answer your prayer? What if I don't give you a church? What if I don't find you a place to live before this gets really hard? What if I don't provide enough money for you to maybe rent an apartment or buy a house if that's what you need to do? What if I don't? What if I don't give you your hopes and dreams? What if I don't send you off full-time RVing like I'd been praying? What if I don't? What if I don't relieve this? And I thought, well, of course, Lord, you will. You absolutely will. And I heard, I've just got this sense that I needed to go on and record a video and answer that question. What if he doesn't? What if I'm stuck here in this bend for the rest of my life? Or at least longer than I want to? What if? And I thought, Lord, you wouldn't do that. You're good. You're a good Father. You take good care of us, and that's true. That's true. Whoops, sorry. Fidgety camera person. So I thought, Lord, what if you don't? I sat with that question a few days, and I've actually wanted to hop on and record this conversation about what if he doesn't. But I didn't have a good answer. I didn't know how to answer that. What would I do? Well, today I went to church, and as I was sitting there, I got there a few minutes early, and as is my way, and I was sitting there thinking about that question. It wouldn't leave me alone. What if he doesn't? What if he doesn't? And all of a sudden I thought of Paul. And in 2 Corinthians 12, Paul is going on talking about who he is, and, you know, he's this, that, and the other thing. He's got all these credentials, and he's all this special something. But he says that it's all for the glory of God. None of that matters. It's just for the glory of God. And he says in there that in order to keep him humble, kind of to remind him who he is, God gave him a thorn in the flesh. Now, this comes from 2 Corinthians 12, and it starts, let's see, about 7, verse 7. And he says, therefore, in order to keep me from being conceited, I was given a thorn in the flesh, a messenger from Satan to torment me. Now, we don't know what that is. We have no idea. There's speculations, but that's all they are, is speculations. He has this thing, this body problem, whatever it is, and it keeps him humble. It reminds him that he's fallible. It reminds him that he's mortal. It reminds him that he can't take care of all his problems. He's got issues. Okay. Verse 8 says, 3 times I pleaded with the Lord to take it away from me. And I read that this morning, and I laughed out loud. I'm sitting in church waiting for it to get started, and I laughed out loud. I thought, 3 times? How about 33 times? Or 153 times? Or 283 times? I've asked God to do this, to take this away, to fix this problem. I've been asking for you know, however long. Maybe your problem, maybe it's a health issue, and you've been asking for 3 years. Every day you ask. And what if he doesn't? What if he doesn't? It says, 3 times I pleaded with the Lord to take this away from me. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in your weakness. What if he doesn't? What if he doesn't answer the prayer the way we want it to be answered? What if he doesn't answer the prayer at all? Maybe the answer is no, not going to do that. Then his grace, that gift of love which we have not earned, which we don't deserve, we haven't done anything to get it, that love is sufficient for us. I mean, let's say we don't get a job. We don't get a church. Let's say that we don't get a parsonage to live in. Well, come this fall, we're going to have to do something, and maybe it'll be to rent a little apartment somewhere. And I don't know, maybe I'll go work at Walmart, or maybe something else will come along. And you know what? God's grace will be sufficient. Because his grace is like that lighthouse. You know, his grace says, here I am. Look at me. Look at me. If you go back a couple of videos ago, I said that Dave and I have this motto that we just keep repeating and repeating that says neither to the right or the left. Straight ahead. Jesus only. Straight ahead. And that's where our focus is. So to answer that nagging question, what if he doesn't? Well, then his grace is sufficient. I don't know what you're asking for today. I don't know what it is you feel you need. Maybe you have a thorn in your flesh, something, a body issue, a disease, something that's broken that doesn't work right. Maybe you need a job. Maybe you need a place to live. Maybe you have a loved one who's ill. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you need a new car. If you've been praying for that, whatever that is, for a period of time, let's say a few months, then maybe you need to look back and say, thank you, Jesus, that which I thought I needed 3 months ago, I've gotten through 3 months without it. Let's just say, for hyperbole's sake, let's just say we need $1 million. You and I both. We each need $1 million. And we start praying for $1 million. And we can explain why we need it, what we need it for. And Lord, I need it. And it's just killing me that I don't have this $1 million right now. And I need it, Lord. I need it. Why aren't you answering? The Psalm says, you heard my voice and you answered me. But I'm not hearing your response. I don't have that $1 million. We think the only solution is exactly that $1 million. But 3 months from now, we're still praying for that $1 million. And if we look, we can see how we had enough to eat. We got our bills taken care of. Things seem to work out. 6 months from now, we're still praying, Lord, I need that $1 million. Why aren't you answering me? I need that $1 million. And he says, no, I don't think you do. Maybe he says he's not going to answer, but we can look back and say, Lord, I thank you that even though 6 months ago I thought this was just going to be the end of me, it wasn't. It wasn't. I don't know what you're dealing with this week. I don't know what it is you've been praying for. But know that Jesus stands as the lighthouse and says, come to me, all you who are weary and heavy burdened. I will give you rest. No, I may not take away that thorn in the flesh. I may not give you that $1 million. I may make that car you've got limp along for another 6 months. It's hard, isn't it? But the answer to the question, what if he doesn't? What if he doesn't answer my prayer the way I've prayed it? I believe that if he doesn't answer that, he will answer in a new way. He does hear us when we pray. Absolutely, without a doubt, he hears us. But sometimes he knows better. And sometimes he knows that where we don't necessarily need that thorn in our flesh to be relieved. What we need is to recognize his grace. Again, Paul says, Jesus says, my grace is sufficient for you. My power is made perfect in your weakness. How do we get by that 6 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year down the road and we still don't have our prayer answered? We point to the power of Jesus Christ working in our lives that got us through even though we didn't think we were going to make it. Hold on to that this week. And I will see you along the bending road. Thank you for watching. And thank you for working together along this journey. Connect with me on social media or on my website at bendingroad.weebly.com. Let me know how I can pray for you as you navigate the bend in your road. I pray that when you see the bend in your road, you will not be afraid, but will take the hand of God and keep walking. You are not alone.